You know, Peter has been right on board. He gets the needs of working people and trying to lift people up. And I believe as a leader, that should always be our goal, is to lift people up and make their life better. And the other part seems to focus on making sure that the rich are very well looked after in our country. I know that Peter, when he says he's going to bring something forward on behalf of everyone, that he will do that. I'm looking forward to working with you in the next parliament.
Thank you so much. Thanks very much, Jeremy. Deeply appreciate your support. And I am privileged to work with an extraordinary team of BC and NDP, MLAs, and ministers. The most popular government in the country is right here in British Columbia with the BC NDP. The MLA for Burnaby-New West and the Minister of Advanced Education, my sister, who I've worked with for so many years, Ann Kang.
Peter works 100% for all of us, 365 days of the year. I've learned so much from him. He's my best friend. He's a brother to me. He's a mentor. My little nephew, he's only 7, and he knows my parents are going to be voting for Peter Julian. So thank you so much, Peter, for being such a genuine person, a heart of gold, and a heart that is here to serve the entire community for affordability, for healthcare, for childcare, and I was so happy to see something under skills training as well.
We have an extraordinary cabinet, and one of the new members of cabinet from just last October is my good friend, who is now the Minister of Education, doing a fabulous job in very difficult times. Please welcome the MLA for New Westminster and the Minister of Education, Jennifer Whiteside.
Peter is such an important leader in our party and mentor in our party in bringing new candidates along, in spreading the word, in doing the mentoring and training for many candidates. He does that here, he does that across the country. And we, in this election, have such an incredible story to tell and such an incredible opportunity to talk with members in our community about the important values that we all share, that Peter represents, that Dominique represents. We have an amazing slate of candidates from British Columbia to make sure that we send an orange wave from British Columbia to the federal parliament.
She's now the MLA for Burnaby North, one of the strongest constituency representatives in the entire province. Please welcome my former roommate, Janet Rutledge.
I saw him in action in terms of the kind of work that he did to build the party at the base. And, you know, in the next federal election, we had a breakthrough in Quebec. We won an incredible number of seats. The NDP won an incredible number of seats in Quebec, and we owe it all to Peter. That's the strength of Peter that I want to talk about. His connection with the community, his connection with people, express people's aspirations of what a better country could be like. He engages people on the doorstep and in the community in a way that makes them feel that they're part of it. That when Peter wins, when the NDP wins, they win. We all win. And that's what Peter's all about. He has been a mentor to me. He sat me down and he walked me through.
And you won!
Exactly. And I owe it all to him.
I wanted to introduce Michael Chang, who is our candidate in Langley Aldergrove and will be the next member of parliament for that area. He's doing a fabulous job. Thank you for coming out today. I'd like to introduce, of course, David Black, National President from Burmaby, who is a strong Labour leader across the country. Janet Andrews from the New Westminster District Labour Council is just right over there. There is something happening across this country. And we've seen that with the kinds of reactions that we're seeing to Jagmeet and his tour as he goes across the country. People are saying that we don't need to go back to the way things were before, with more and more inequality, with not affordable housing, with no farming care, that we can actually build a better society coming out of COVID. And so everyone knows that a vote for the NDP, whether it's here in Westminster, Burnaby, or anywhere else in the country, is going to be a vote for public universal pharmacare in this country that Canada will finally join all the other countries that have universal health care and actually apply universal pharmacare. And a vote for affordable housing strategy so we can build the 500,000 units we need to build so that every single Canadian will have a roof over their head at night and every Canadian will have that right to housing. A vote for the NDP will be to finally say that the rich and privileged no longer get a free ride in our tax system, that we will put in place a wealth tax, we will put in place a pandemic's profits tax to ensure that everybody, whether it's the billionaires or the banks, actually pay their fair share, and in that way we can invest for all Canadians. A vote for the NDP is a vote for true, meaningful, and lasting national reconciliation. We have, and it's a national shame, dozens of Indigenous communities where the children do not even have safe water to drink in Canada in 2021. A vote for Jagmeet Singh and a vote for the NDP is finally having a federal government that takes its responsibilities seriously and brings about that meaningful and lasting national reconciliation with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. This is an opportunity and a watershed election, and we're seeing that Jagmeet Singh is through the roof in the polls. When Canadians are asked, who's your favorite leader? They say Jagmeet Singh. When they're asked who do you most like to take a beer with? They say Jagmeet Singh. Who has the best ideas? Jagmeet Singh. Who is the leader that understands your family best? They say Jagmeet Singh. And so that's why we're seeing this rise in the polls. And about half of Canadians now across the country are actually seriously looking at the NDP, many for the very first time. And each of you being willing to give that most sacred gift of your labor helps to bring us to that ultimate goal, that on September 20th, there is a sea change in Parliament. Far fewer Liberal and Conservative MPs, and far more NDP MPs helping the direction of this country. And now I would like to introduce to you our campaign manager. Please welcome Doris Ma.
Hey, Doris!
I would imagine all of you would agree with me for one thing, that Peter is one of the most hardworking MPs in the country. This is why we are here today. 1 hour, you can knock on 20 doors. That's impressive. And 1 hour, you can phone 25 people.
Big E here. I'm at
And what we need
Peter
is we have a
Julian's
title, okay?
launch party, if you want to call it that.